Alright, Motor Gear peeps, what's good? Kirk here, back with another episode. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday, just as we are. And I think today we're going to do some more work on the M2. Now, I know you guys would have seen from the previous videos that we've been doing some simple but cool modifications to the M2. Today we're going to be focusing on something that's more of a maintenance / performance modification, and we're actually going to be focusing on filters. Now, this is something that's kind of overlooked for a lot of BMW owners. It's not going to be the case for us. We're always going to try and make sure that maintenance comes first. And something that people don't really do a lot of the times is change their cabin filters as well as the air intake filter. So today we're going to be switching those out. I do have the parts with me. It's a genuine cabin filter from BMW, and while I am planning on getting an upgraded air intake in the future, I think for the meantime we're just going to do a performance drop-in filter. So I got this one from Pipercross. I'm going to show you guys right now. Alright, so here it is. So this is the cabin filter, as I mentioned before. I am going to put the link for this down below. This should be very compatible with other BMWs as well. This is the one for the M2. And this is a Pipercross air filter. Now, Pipercross is if I'm not mistaken, it's a UK company. They mainly focus on performance air filters. I've heard a lot of M2 owners over there running them, so I'm curious to seeing how it's going to perform. It should do basically what we expect it to do. As I said, this is just going to be a temporary setup until the performance air intake arrives. So now that you guys see what we're working on today, please make sure, if you're not doing so already, to subscribe. So we're going to get into it right now. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to get started. Now, to get to the air filter on the M2, it's pretty simple. This is the location for the airbox. In order to get to it, you have to remove these bolts that hold the strut brace in. It's actually covering some of the plastic right here. So in order to get to it, you have to take this off. After that, there's a couple clips on the side to pull the airbox off. You can slide it off, drop in the new air filter, and then once that is done, all you have to do is just reassemble it. Now, for these bolts, they're not all the same size, so when we take them off, I'm gonna show you exactly which one is different. So make sure that when you're putting the strut brace back on, you're gonna be putting the same bolts back in the same position. Alright, and just so you guys know, you need a 13mm socket to take the bolts out. Alright, so as I mentioned to you guys before, these are the 4 bolts. As I said, one of them is longer. It's going to be the second one, starting from here. So just make sure that when you're putting it back together, it's in the same exact orientation. Alright, so I'm going to show you what the Pipercross air filter looks like. Pretty nice packaging. As you can see, it's a foam style air filter. It is pre-oiled as well. I don't really have an issue with having an oil filter. Some people might have a different preference, but to me it doesn't really make a big difference. Alright, so Pipercross is actually a pretty cool company. They've been in business in the UK for over 25 years, specializing in performance air filters. This one is pretty nice because it's a drop-in design, no modification necessary, but the benefit of it, you get a 30% more airflow from having this over the stock air filter. It's totally washable and reusable. You can re-oil it if necessary. And another thing why we kind of lean towards this one, it doesn't void the manufacturer warranty, so it's a good product to have. I think what's kind of special about Pipercross is because while it's a very popular company in the UK, it's not really popular in the States. And for us using parts on this build, we kind of wanted to showcase different brands that people typically don't use. So I think this is going to be a good product for us to try out, and hopefully it gives some good results. Alright, gonna put this to the side. So the airbox has some clips on it. All you have to do is just unsnap it. Just be very careful, you don't want the clips to drop off into the engine. I think there should be one more. Yeah, so it's 4 clips in total. Just gonna slide it up a little bit. Okay, careful with all the wires, and then you just take the air filter out. So this is a stock air filter. It's a little bit dirty, but not too bad. You know, I've seen worse in my day, but yeah, the way the filter went in was face down, so you're going to want to have the foam side down. Yeah, just make sure that the edges line up Alright, so once the filter is in place, you just want to go ahead and secure the box down. So put the clips back in place. Okay. After that, we can put the strap bar back on. Alright, so I'm just gonna hand tighten it for right now. Again, make sure that the long bolt goes into the second one. I'm gonna put the torque spec for this on the screen as well, so you guys can see. And then after that, we can move to the cabin filter. So now that the engine air filter is all taken care of, we're going to go ahead and go to the next step, which is to take care of the cabin air filter. So all BMWs, as a matter of fact, most cars in general typically have a cabin air filter. This filter is basically used to process all the air that comes into the cabin when the AC is on. So for those of you who may have noticed like a particular weird smell when the AC is on, it's probably because you haven't changed the cabin air filter. So right now we're going to go inside and check it out. It's pretty simple to get to. It's actually located right underneath the glove box on the passenger side. It's pretty easy to get to. There's going to be two 10mm bolts on each side that you need to remove, and after those two bolts have been removed, I'm going to lower this compartment and show you guys how to get to the cabin air filter. Alright, so once this panel comes down, you're going to have to disconnect this light, and then your cabin filter is actually right here. So it's held in place by two T20 Torx. I'm going to unscrew that, remove this plastic panel, and then you'll have access to the cabin filter afterwards. Now there's actually some plastic tabs on the edge of it. You just want to pull on them to get the cover off. Pull it out. You want to be very careful when you're taking the cabin filter out, because most likely it will have a lot of debris on it. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys a side-by-side comparison. This is the old filter, as you guys can see, pretty dirty. And then this is the new filter. Now, this is a genuine BMW product, but it seems like Vallejo is the company that actually makes it. But yeah, this is the old filter. Definitely needed a change. My recommendation for these, at least once a year, you want to make sure that you change them out. This one was definitely overdue, as you guys can see. And hopefully switching out to the new one should improve the smell of the AC and also the air that's coming in. When you're inserting it back, it's pretty simple. You just insert it the same way you took this one out. Easiest way to tell, there's going to be an arrow right there to show you the position, and that's going to be facing towards the car. So all you have to do is bend it, put it back into place, and then button everything back up. And you know, as always, I'm going to be listing this in the description as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed a quick little install of both filters. This is just something I wanted to do for those of you who don't know how to do it. Rather than having to take your car to a dealer, it's a pretty simple install for both of them. Changing your air filters is something that you guys should be doing for any car, not just BMWs. And if you're interested in making a purchase for any of them, as I said before, I'll have the link for both of them in the description. The cabin filter I use can actually be used in many different types of BMWs, not just the M2. From what I've seen in the drop down menu, it's the same one that people use for the 3 Series, the 2 Series, the 4 Series, even the M3, M4. As always, if you guys like any of these quick little DIYs, please make sure to leave your thumbs up. Please make sure to leave a comment if you want to see a specific type of installation that we can do. And with that being said and done, I think we're going to close this video out. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you on the next one.